If you're a soccer fan, you know predictions are absolutely everywhere. But what if you could do more than just, take a guess? Today, we're going to walk through a pro-level workflow that does exactly that. We're talking about combining the raw power of AI with your own personal knowledge of the game, all using a tool called ZcoreCast. Let's dive in.
So, let's kick things off with a feeling I bet we've all had. You look at these prediction sites, and they're like a black box, right? They just spit out a result, but you get zero say in it, and honestly, no real clue how they even got there.
And that really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much real insight are you actually getting? Is your prediction just a complete shot in the dark, or is it actually built on a solid foundation of real analysis?
And this, right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the two different ways of doing things. The typical model? It's a one-way street. You put absolutely nothing in, you get a simple result out. ZcoreCast, on the other hand, it's a partnership. Your analysis, what you know, that's the input, and that's what leads to a way more insightful forecast.
This is the core idea, the whole philosophy. ZcoreCast isn't just some passive tool you look at. No, it's a really sophisticated simulator that puts you in the driver's seat, or maybe the manager's seat in this case. It's all built on the idea that your expertise is the most important part of any great prediction.
All right, so how does this whole thing actually work under the hood? Well, it all starts with building your prediction engine. This is the very foundation of everything you're going to do.
And at its core, there are these two really powerful controls. First up is the rating range. This is awesome. It lets you model how inconsistent a team is in the real world. The difference between their absolute best day and their worst. Then there's importance, and this is where you get to decide which factors are the most critical for this specific game.
So you can apply these controls to the usual stuff like chance creation or midfield control, but here, this is where it gets really powerful. You can add your own custom factors. Think about all those little details that the stat sheets completely miss, like a team suffering from travel fatigue after a long trip, or the massive impact of a key player being out with an injury. Now, building that analysis from a blank slate sounds like a lot of work, right? Well, this is where you can totally supercharge your workflow. It's time to bring in your AI analytical partner.
You can think of the AI as having three huge benefits. First, it's a massive time saver. It just instantly pulls out all the key stuff. Second, it kind of keeps you honest. It checks your own biases by giving you a totally neutral place to start from. And maybe the most important thing, it can spot little insights buried in an article that you might have just skimmed right over.
And the process itself? It literally could not be easier. You just find a good quality match preview online, copy and paste the text, click Analyze, and then, and this is the key step, you review the completely transparent, quote-based report that it spits out.
And here's a perfect example of what I mean by transparent. The AI doesn't just change a rating out of nowhere. It tells you exactly why it did it, quoting the specific phrase from the article that made it adjust the number. See, it's not a black box at all. It actually shows you its homework.
Okay, so the AI gives you this incredible baseline, an amazing starting point, but that's all it is, a start. Now we get to the most important step of all, the art of refinement. This is where your knowledge, your expertise truly gets to shine.
If you remember one thing, remember this. It's the whole idea of this workflow. The AI provides the science, the cold, hard, objective data. But you provide the art. You're the head analyst here, and it's your job to bring all the nuance, the context, and that human intuition that no algorithm could ever replicate.
So your role is to trust the AI, but verify what it's saying. You fine-tune its ratings based on what you know. You add your own unique insights, and you can even model different what-if scenarios. Like, what happens if that star striker just has a really off day? You can model that.
So what's a unique insight? It's any piece of knowledge that the AI just can't get from reading an article. Here's a perfect example. You know that a certain team just completely falls apart when they have to play in the rain. And guess what? The forecast is calling for a downpour. That right there is a game-changing edge. And now you have a way to actually factor it into your prediction.
So once you've got your core analysis totally locked in, you can add another layer of sophistication to really give yourself a professional edge.
One of these pro features is blending your forecast with the live betting odds. So by applying what's called a market influence of around 20 to 30%, you're anchoring your personal analysis in the wisdom of the crowd. It's a fantastic way to stress test your own ideas and see right away where your unique analysis might be spotting some value that the market has totally missed. And then there's this feature. For those just wild, totally unpredictable derby matches where you can just throw the form book out the window, it's literally a button that says Unleash Chaos. When you click it, you're telling the simulator to embrace the pure randomness of soccer, running a much more erratic simulation for those games where you know deep down that anything could happen.
So, let's put it all together. Your winning workflow is really just 4 simple steps. Step 1, start with the AI analysis to get a strong, objective baseline. 2, human refinement, where you add your expertise. 3, market blending to anchor it all in reality. And finally, number 4, predict and interpret. Because the goal isn't just to get a result, it's to understand why that's the likely result.
Ultimately, this whole process, it transforms prediction from just a passive guess into this dynamic analytical journey. It's a method that respects your knowledge just as much as it respects the data. So, I guess the real question is, are you ready to stop just consuming predictions and actually start crafting your own?